around and spit a word that was almost kind of a discouraging word. And he said, before you follow me any further, have you counted the cost? He said, when a king goes out to war, does he not first count his soldiers and count the soldiers that he's fighting against and see whether he has enough army and strength to take out the army that he's coming against? And if he doesn't, then he'll send one of his servants ahead with a peace treaty. And say, hey, look, we've been thinking about it, you know what I mean? He won't say nothing about his soldiers. He'll just act like, he's doing him a favor, So we've been thinking about it, And we thought it would be better if we just settled this now. So here's a gift. And, he would count the cost. And if he came up short, he wouldn't go to war. Sounds reasonable, don't it? Yeah. Makes sense. And then Jesus gave another example. He said, imagine a man who said, I'm going to build me an empire. I'm going to build me a building. But he never really sat back and thought about if he had enough funds to complete the building. Right?
Yep.
How many buildings come from Vegas and they don't get finished? Oh, Lord, I don't hit a hot spot. Right? Because they got so excited, man, we're going to make money, we're going to do this. And before they even get a chance to make money, they never even sat back and thought about that they had the money to make the money. So they got all excited, they got all these investors involved. And when they built the foundation and they started building it up, and now he looks like an idiot. Now he looks like a fool because he's got to go back to his investors and say, well, no, we thought it was going to cost $1.5 million. And after all of the blueprints and so forth and so on, we realized it's going to cost us $10 million. And now he looks like an idiot. Straight up, right? You might say, idiot, that's a strong word, idiot. If it was your $1.5 million, you'd become an idiot too. So now Jesus gives us this example when he says to all of his disciples, he says, I know you're following me, but before we go any further, have you counted the cost? He said, the Son of Man doesn't even have a place to rest his head. Even the foxes have holes to sleep in. I don't even know where I'm going to sleep. And if you follow me, matter of fact, then later on down the road, he gets crucified. He gets murdered. But before he gets murdered, he gets tortured. And before he gets murdered and tortured, he turns to his disciples and says, they call me the devil, right? I do all these miracles and they think I'm the devil. Matter of fact, they tell me that I have the power to cast out demons because I have the demon. That's what they tell me. Now he said a master is not, a student is not greater than his master. In other words, he's reminding them who they are and who he is. He said, I'm a master and you're a student. If they say that I have a demon and you're my student, the student's not better than his master. So if I got a demon, what do you think you got? And if they're going to kill the master, what do you think they're going to do to you? And he let his disciples know. Matter of fact, he was even walking with one disciple and he told him straight up. He said, when you were young, you went and you did whatever it is that you wanted to do. You took, you wanted to go establish some business, you went and did it. He said, but there's coming a time where you're not going to tell other people what to do. No. He said, they're going to tie you up. They're going to tell you what to do. And what Jesus was doing was he was telling him about his death. He was prophesying to him. And sure enough, this disciple was murdered for the gospel. And he died just the way Jesus told him to die. And you know what his response was? His response was, well, Jesus, what about him? You say, I'm going to die, I'm going to be tortured to death. Well, what about this disciple? And Jesus says, if I want him to live forever, what is that to you? And the Bible makes it clear. Not that Jesus said he's going to live forever. He just said, if I want him to live forever, what is that to you? And so God asks us, so young people, I'm talking to you for a second. And really this speaks to all of us, but young people, you made a decision for Jesus. Are you ready to follow that? Because this world is getting wicked. And there's coming a time, and I believe that time is now here, where they don't like your Jesus. They don't like what your Jesus represents. They don't like that your Jesus is not okay with homosexuality. They don't like that your Jesus is not okay with witchcraft and getting your horoscope and getting your palm read. They don't like that. And if you follow that Jesus, then they feel like you're judging them. Because what if they want to go get their palm read and you don't think that's right? Right? Do we count the cost? That's why I see a lot of brothers jump in and they don't make it. They get on fire. And what happens 2 months later? They don't make it. Was it because God didn't have the strength to keep them? No, God had the strength to keep them. Was it because they were excited about Jesus? No, they were excited about Jesus. So what happened? What happened? They didn't count the cost. I want to ask you a question straight up. Are you willing to suffer for Jesus Christ? That means, young people, are you willing to go to school and be made fun of on his behalf? And count it as an honor. An honor. Like, I will gladly take that. It is an honor for me to be made fun of for the name of Jesus. You know